Hello motionographers, this is the tutorial on how to assemble 9 squares, and just in case you are a fan of complexity and complication and you have 9 separate AEP files, we will need to consolidate those all into the same After Effects file. After Effects is a very robust program and can handle multiple comps. That is why it was built. You could put 100 different comps in an After Effects file and you would be just fine. If you're wondering what the elegant and classical piano is in the background, that is my daughter playing the piano. Unfortunately, her practice time coincides with the exact moment that I am recording this tutorial. I would wait if I could, but I've put it off long enough and you guys need it. So here we go. As you can see, we are here in After Effects in a file that I have called 9 Squares Tutorial, in which there is one composition. I just happen to have 8 other After Effects files because I wanted to duplicate reality, student reality, as much as possible so you guys can follow along. So as you can see, I just have one comp in this After Effects project, this .aep file, which is a container for all of the compositions you make. It's easy to import other compositions, other AEP After Effects project files into our library, into our project window here. We import them just like we do any other file. And I'm going to do that by double-clicking the project window. I can also go up to File, Import. I'm going to navigate to my 380 folder. I'm going to get into 9 squares, and I'm going to select everything except for the one that I'm currently in. Let's see what this does when I import multiple project files. So as you can see over here in our project window, After Effects imports each separate project, each separate AEP as its own folder in this After Effects file. So that's fantastic. Now, let's see. So let's get started. Let's see what we've got here. We've got sort of a countdown graphic here for my number 1. I called it Growing Pie. Do I have 2 Growing Pies? Oh, this must, I'm going to rename this one Growing Pie 2 or something. There we go. I did not notice that I had named them both Growing Pie. Okay, so you can see that I have all the comps that I need. In fact, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up all these folders. I would like all my comps to be just out in the open here. Let's see, how many Growing Pies can one person have? Okay, I am back and I have renamed all of my comps so they make a little bit more sense now. I'm also going to command click to select only the composition so I can get them out of these little folders, and I'm going to drag them. Am I going to drag them? I'm going to try to drag them above this folder right here. That's not working. There we go. I just dragged to the left there and now all my comps are out. So I've got 9 SQ, comp 1 through 9. Okay, that is fantastic. After Effects, the way we work in After Effects is we use the AEP as a container and then we generate compositions. That's where all the magic happens. Just a reminder lesson there on how After Effects works. Okay, our project window is ready to work. So let's do this. Now I have asked each of you to generate an animated GIF of each one individually at 350 pixels and also gang up all of your 9 square animations on an 1100 pixel square composition and just export that as a movie. So let's talk about how to do that. Create nested comps inside of a master comp. I have mentioned to several of you that you should create a new blank master comp and put all of your individual comps inside of that. So let's do that now. Let's go to File, New, Composition. I have 1050 right now. Let's make that 1100 by 1100. I'm going to leave it at 30 frames a second. Yeah, the duration could be 3 seconds. I'm just going to leave that there until I need to change it. I'm going to change the name to master comp. Leave the background as white just for fun. I don't think I'll need it to be anything else for the time being. All right, here is master comp. I'm going to hide parent so I can have a little bit more room in my timeline. And I'm also going to turn off the modes for now so I can have more useful space. Okay, this is an 1100 pixel square comp. I don't know if any of you noticed, you probably did not, but all of these individual comps I've been making are 1050 by 1050. I mentioned to some of you that you don't have to work. In fact, I mentioned to some of you that you don't have to work at 350 pixels square. In fact, I recommended that you don't, that you work at a larger size like 700 or maybe 1050. 1050 is 3 times as large so that you can work with more detail, especially if you are rotoscoping and drawing by hand in Photoshop. A larger comp would be wise. So all of these are large. They are 1050 by 1050. Let us go to our master comp, and how should we do this alignment? Since none of my compositions are 350, I happen to know that if I scaled down all of my individual comps by 33%, that would probably be exactly 350 pixels. But just in case yours are some crazy size that is not an easily divisible multiple of 350, I don't know if those math terms I just said were even correct, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. There is another way to measure out 350 pixels, and that is to use shape layers. If I go up here to my rectangle tool, I just want to make sure that I am not doing, let's see, oh, here we go. This is a very important check box right up here that says Bezier path. If you are planning on animating the shape layers that you draw with a rectangular tool, or any of these tools for that matter, you should leave that checked. If you would like to use your shape layer and type in the exact dimensions of it, like I want to do now, you should uncheck it. And the Bezier paths will not be as easily manipulatable or manipulable. Is that a word? I am going to draw a rectangle that I think, let's see, please work. There we go. I'm going to draw out a rectangle that I think is about 350 pixels square. I'm totally guessing here. I don't see any info panel here that's going to tell me anything different, so I'm just going to guesstimate. I can change it with numbers. But first, I want to fix this. I want to drag my anchor point into the center. You know what? Instead of dragging it instead of eyeballing it and trying to hit the center of this with the pan behind tool, that's the tool that you use to change anchor points, right? Remember? If you are an owner of Motion 2, the plugin, you can just go down here to anchor point mode and center it that way. But if you're a non-owner of Motion 2, then you can go to Layer, Transform, Center, Anchor Point, and Layer Content, and that will do the same thing. Very handy. All right, let's not forget to measure this square. Let's go down to our shape layer, flip down contents, flip down rectangle path, and we can see that I got within 6 pixels. Pretty impressive, but not exact. So let's change these 2 digits to 350 and 350, and then redo the chain so it stays square. Okay, I'm then going to align this to the upper left of my composition by going to my Align panel, making sure Align Layers 2 says Composition, and I'm going to hit the Align Left and Align Top buttons. I am then, and I'm going to close this up, I am then going to select my first shape layer and hit Command D or Edit Duplicate to make a copy of it. I'm just going to sort of guesstimate where that is and then align it directly, exactly to the center. Command D once more to duplicate. You can see down here in my timeline that my shape layers are being duplicated. I'm going to go to the right and the top. Then I'm going to select all 3 of these shape layers, these squares, and I'm going to hit Command D one more time. Move them down to the center. Make sure I'm exact by aligning to center, align vertically centered. I'm going to hit Command D one more time. drag these down here, and then align them to the bottom. I now have an exactly aligned grid of 9 squares. And again, the reason I want to do this is just in case your comps are not an exact multiple of 350 pixels. Mine just happened to be, but I will try to show you both ways here. So 9 squares comp 1, let's drag that into master comp. See how nested comps show up as a tan layer, and they show you the little composition icon, which are the Bauhaus shapes in a film strip. You should know that by now, but just as a review. Let's scale down. I'm grabbing the corner and holding down Shift as I drag. So if you need to eyeball it, if you have some crazy dimension, you can go ahead and just try to eyeball the size to the 350 pixel rectangles that you've made. If not, if you do have a multiple, like I do, I have a 3 times multiple, I can scale this thing down. See, it's almost exactly 350 pixels. Oops, why did I do that? Let's just type in 33.33. Everybody knows that is 1/3 of 100%. I can again go over here to align layers and use the align left and align top. And now my comp is scaled and positioned exactly where I want it to be. So let's just go through, do the rest of these. Hit S to reveal scale, 33.33. You know what, it's probably handy to have these just for alignment, even if you don't need to scale them to the size of all the rectangles you've drawn. Comp 3, scale, 33.33. All right, I will probably fast forward this part. Okay, I have all 9 of my shrunken down compositions, and again, I chose 33.3 because that is 1/3 of 100%, and I knew that my comps, I had worked in 3 times as big as 350 pixels. You just want yours to be 350 pixels. That is the end goal here. I'm going to go through and align all these, make sure that is aligned centered, align top, and align right. Align all of these at once, centered. Just make sure that one's aligned to the right. This one is aligned horizontally to the center. That one's horizontally to the left. This one is left and down. This one is centered and down. This one is down and right. Okay, they are all aligned perfectly now. So what I can do is I can either delete these shapes, or rather than delete, since I'm a digital hoarder and I rarely delete anything, I'm just going to flip this shy switch so the little man is hiding behind the wall, and then I'm going to hit the global shy switch, which again hides them from the timeline but does not actually delete them or hide them from the comp window. It still shows them on the comp window. Let me just make sure. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go through. Before I hid those with the shy switch, I should have turned off visibility because I don't want that either. I'm going to turn back on global shy, and they're all gone. I'm going to hit Command A to select all my layers, and then hit U to, I could have hit S as well just to hide all those scale properties. Now I can see all my comps at once. All right, I am now ready to export the movie of all 9 of my animations. I didn't plan out very well in this mock 9 squares that I made, the color schemes. Like I probably wouldn't have put 3 blues and 3 teals here, but just for the sake of this tutorial, so let's all deal with it. All right, let's go ahead and add to our render queue. Control Command M on a Mac, which is a terrible hotkey for Make Movie. We don't need to mess with best settings. We don't have sound. We just need to tell it where to save. I'm going to save it to my desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and click render while clicking the caps lock key, because caps lock prevents After Effects from refreshing the comp window, which uses memory. And if you press the caps lock key, it freezes everything and supposedly everything renders faster. But as you can see, it's not rendering fast enough. I'm going to hit fast forward. Wow, that took a long time to render, probably because there's a lot happening here. It's 1100 pixels square, and because I am simultaneously doing a screen capture, and that's a lot for a little laptop to do. Anyway, I have now I should have pointed out that our master comp, or reminded you that our master comp was already 3 seconds long. The work area was set to 3 seconds and everything was already good before I went to render. But anyway, what I got here was this movie, which if we full screen it and hit loop, which in QuickTime 7 is Command L, we will have a beautiful uncompressed 9 squares movie that shows all of my animations working together simultaneously. And this is one of the things, this is half of the assignment that I want you to turn in, although I would like you to drop yours into Media Encoder and make it very small so that you can upload it to Learning Suite. So this is one half. Let's escape out of that. Close that. And what the heck, let's just show you exactly what I want you to do by opening up Media Encoder. I want this to be a comprehensive tutorial. Media Encoder takes way too long to start up, but it is a useful piece of software, so we will be lenient. All right, here it is. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to grab Master Comp, drop it in here. I'm going to click on the preset here, match source high bitrate, and just it says it's going to be 3 megabytes, which is pretty tiny, so I don't think I need to do anything else. I'm just going to click OK, go ahead and click the play button there and let it render. Thank you, Media Encoder. You can go away now. All right, mastercomp.mp4 truly is wow, that's tiny, 3.2 megabytes. All right, so Media Encoder is great. Use it today. The rest of your assignment is to export 9 animated GIFs, each one being 350 pixels square. Now, how might you go about that if each one of your comps is not 350 pixels square, like this one is 1050 by 1050? Well, have no fear. I'm just going to export this. This is, again, my timeline is already 3 seconds long, so I don't need to worry about work area or anything like that. I'm going to add to render queue. I'm going to select all of these, actually, and I'm going to add to render queue just to show you that you can. That's why it's called a queue, because you can line a bunch of stuff in it and you can render it all at the same time. However, I'm not going to go through all 9 for the sake of time, and I'm certainly not going to export all 9 as GIFs for the sake of time. I'm just going to export these 3. How about that? These should be a little bit faster, I hope. I am not pressing caps lock this time because I think that it can handle it. Hopefully, yeah, it's going pretty fast. If I do hit caps lock, then everything freezes, like I mentioned before. Okay, caps lock off. All right, 3 movies have been rendered. And I can now open them in Photoshop, because if you are not the owner of the wonderful plugin called GIF Gun, which is available on aescripts.com, which allows you to click one button and export a GIF directly out of After Effects, highly recommended, very highly recommended. I believe it's $29. It's worth every penny. If you do not have GIF Gun, however, the way that we do it in my classes is by using Photoshop. If you've taken 280 from me, you are well aware of this fact, but let's just do it for old time's sake. I don't know why my layers are way over here. That's super annoying. Okay, let's hide After Effects. There we go. Okay, so let's just grab comp1.mov that was rendered to my desktop. Let's drag that on top of the Photoshop icon. It's going to take a while. Okay, my timeline for some reason is way up there. Let's drag that down. We don't really need to do anything with the timeline because the work area snaps to the length of that particular movie. We do, however, need to go to File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy. And it's going to open up this window, this dialog box. We are going to immediately downsize our image size to 350 pixels. We are going to set, actually, probably more important than that is changing the preset to a GIF preset. Let's actually just change it here. Let's just go to GIF here. I don't know why that's taking so long. Watch as Photoshop gives me the spinning beach ball. Okay, there are beautiful colors. That's kind of a nice grid, isn't it? We don't really need transparency, but it turns out that doesn't make much difference in size, so don't worry about clicking anything else other than GIF. Colors will be set to 256, that is fine. You'll get a better looking GIF that way. Make sure looping is set to forever. Click Save. I'm going to save this to my desktop. See how small that is. And then make sure it's desktop. Go ahead and click Save. Yeah, so the important things to set in the Save for Web dialog box are the GIF setting and loop forever and 350 pixels square. Now, if I go here on my desktop and I hit the space bar to preview it, I will see a perfectly rendered GIF at 350 pixels. Okay? So GIF, 350 pixels, and loop forever. You'll need to do that 9 times with all, not 9 for the same, but 9 for all 9 of your different compositions at 350 pixels. Send those to me. Zip those and your movie with containing all 9, like this one. Zip all of those together and upload that one zip to Learning Suite. And that is all I need you to do. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.